What's up traders, it's Slaps from Rocket Signals, and in this video I'm going to be going over stop losses. I'll be going over what stop losses are for and where you should properly place them so that you don't get prematurely stopped out of a position. I'll be using real stock charts and show you where you should be placing your stop losses depending on how the chart is forming. So let's get right into it. First off, what are stop losses for? The point of a stop loss is to limit your losses before you get into a trade. They're meant to protect you from holding bags and stop you from blowing up your account. A lot of traders typically go into a trade without having a proper stop loss and end up holding stocks that drop 30, 40, even over 50%. A lot of people get stuck and never stop out. The stock just never recovers, so they end up holding the bag. So what I got up on the screen here is a 1 hour chart of PYPD. Using the 1 hour chart in this example here, you can clearly see that it's creating a support in this $1 to 93 cent area. So you can see the stock is bouncing in this area, creating a support. So down here would be a good level to add into your position, start scaling in, and you would put your stop loss under the swing low back here. Once you determine the swing low at 93 cents, you want to put your stop loss under the nearest round number. So the nearest round number under the swing low would be 90 cents. You can think 90 cents, $1, $1.10, $1.20, $1.30. So this one can be in 10 cents. So what you're doing here is you're giving the stock some wiggle room. In case the stock does drop to this 93 cent area, it could consolidate, break down, go under this 93 cent level. If you put your stop loss perfectly under 93 cents, you would have got stopped out and you would think it keeps falling, right? But the thing is, you could be missing a chance where there could be a big buyer sitting right at 90 cents. This big buyer would have bought your shares that you sold at 93 and they would make it rip up back to $1, $1.20, $1.40, who knows, even $2. But it doesn't matter because you would have gotten stopped out right at 93 cents. So let's pause for a second and think like a big trader. It could be a bank or a hedge fund, maybe even a whale with big pockets. A big buyer would say, hey, I'll buy this stock at 90 cents. They're not going to say, I'll buy this stock at 93.21 cents. They will round it to the nearest round number and say, I'll buy it at 90 cents. And that's where they would place their buy order. So by giving your stop loss wiggle room to the nearest round number under your support, you'll be giving it room in case it does dip down there and a big buyer steps in. Then you won't be stopped out when they buy it up and make the stock rip back up to $1.20, $1.40, $2, like we said earlier. So that's why it's important. You want to put your stop loss under the nearest round number below the swing low of whatever chart you're trading. Let's go on to another example. Now here I have a 5-minute chart of ATXI, and you can see that ATXI is consolidating down here in this range. You can see it bouncing up and down, and it's starting to create a support at this 3.6 to 3.8 level right here. And in this case, you want to get your entry as close as you can to here every time it bounced, or if it dips back to 3.6, you'd want to put that there as well. Now this one is easy to put a stop loss because the price right here is perfectly $3.60, so that's already meeting what we said last time as a whole number. You can put a stop loss right under there, and you know that's a good stop loss because at that point your trading plan would be invalid, and as soon as the price broke down below this support, you'll know that the buyers are gone. If it breaks below this price, the sellers were able to outpace the buyers and keep the stock in a downtrend. One more example, let's use TMBR. TMBR, you can see that it's creating a support at the 10 cent level down here. So you can see this stock is bouncing perfectly at the 10 cent level because remember, like I said, there's big buyers at these whole number areas, right? This is the 4-hour chart for TMBR, and you can see that big buyers are slowly accumulating at this 10 cent level because big buyers are the ones that make the price move back up after it bounces off the support level. So 10 cents, huge psychological number. You would try to get an entry near this price level, and here's two things you could do. You could put a stop loss under 10 cents because it is a psychological level, and under 10 cents your plan could be invalidated. But you see back here, the swing low was 9 cents. So just by adding that 10% risk, if you got an entry in the low 10 cents area and you put your stop loss under 9, that's only a 10% risk if it drops from 10 cents to 9. That's a nice risk. It's a tight stop loss. 10% is not that big. And if it goes under 9 cents, you would just get out because your plan would be invalidated. If you chose to put your stop loss at 10 cents, what if it came down and it bounced off a 9 back here and it went back up to 11 cents, 12 cents, 13, 14, 15? You'd be stressing out because you just stopped out at 10 cents right before it ripped to 16. So by widening your stop loss to the swing low, you'll be giving yourself some wiggle room and space in case it does decide to rip back up. You don't want to place your stop loss too far from your entry price though, since that'd be adding too much risk on your position. So if you chose to buy the stock at 10 cents or 11 in this area, right? And you decided to wait for the stock to drop to 7 cents before you stopped out, that's going to be a 30 to 40% stop loss, and that's just not good risk management at all. At that point, TMBR is just going to be a bag, and it's going to have a hard time coming back up to these price levels because there's going to be a lot of people in your situation who are down 30, 40%. That's why it's important you put the stop loss somewhere that makes sense, where the big buyers are buying up. And if it breaks under this level, you know that those buyers ran out and the stock is most likely to continue in their downtrend. I want you to remember, the tighter the stop loss you have, the lower the risk. The wider the stop, the more the risk. If you entered at 10 cents and the stock drops to 7, that's a wide stop loss. That's about negative 40%. But if you had your stop loss under 9, you would have saved the pain of the stock dropping this hard, and you would have only stopped out for negative 10% up here. Going back to PYPD, your entry would be near support at this area, at this $1 to 93 cent area. You would buy in back here because you see that a big buyer is buying it up and making the price spike every time it comes down to this level. And your stop loss would be under 90 cents. So if your entry is near $1 and you decide to stop out at 90 cents, then your stop loss would only be around 10%. So again, that's a good tight stop loss. You're not holding this until it drops to 60 cents. That's going to be negative 40%. That's way too much risk, and you can't afford the stock to drop that much. If you put your stop loss right under the swing low at 90 cents, there's going to be big buyers at this 90 cent area. In case it breaks down, it's most likely to bounce back up from this psychological level. If you stopped out under 93 cents, you wouldn't be giving enough room for the stock to breathe. So you could be stopped out at 93 cents right before it bounced at 90 cents, and it would just keep going up. Let's look at ATXI again. You can see the support right here at 3.8. You would put your stop loss under 3.6, and you would have entered between this 3.8 level to $4 level. If you chose to put your stop loss under 3.6 back here, that's only a 10% stop loss from your entry, and you'll be risking only 10% for potentially $5, $6 all the way back up here. So in order to be able to place a good stop loss, you want to enter near a support and stop out below it, right? You want to stop out below the nearest psychological round number. So 3.6 is the round number down here, and you can stop out right below it if the price does close under it. It doesn't make sense to add this stock, ATXI, if it goes all the way up to $6. If you add up here, your stop loss is still going to be all the way under at 3.6. So if you're holding it from $6 to 3, that's terrible risk reward. If you entered at 6 and you write it all the way down to 3, that's going to be negative 50%. And again, you're going to have a really difficult time just trying to break even if the stock has to come up that much. So just to sum up what we went over this video, number one, you want to place your stop loss at a level where your trading plan will no longer be valid. Like ATXI down here, your stop loss would be under 3.6, since if the stock did break below 3.6, your plan would no longer be valid and you would move out. You don't bag hold if it breaks under your stop loss. Number two, you want to make sure your stop loss isn't too tight and you give the stock some wiggle room. So even though you can see the stock is bouncing multiple times at $1, You want to give yourself some wiggle room under 93 cents, maybe to around 90 cents, because remember what we said earlier, big buyers could step in and you don't want to stop out right before someone buys up the stock and makes the stock pump up again. Finally, number 3, you want to make sure your stop loss is a reasonable amount. 10 to 15% is a good guideline for your maximum stop, and you just have to be aware of what you're risking when you enter a stock. You don't want to be entering the stock at 1 and have your stop loss at 60 cents, because you'll just be losing 40% of your money when you enter it. So make sure you place it at a tight area. $1 to 90 cents is only 10%, and you'll still be keeping 90% of your money if the trade goes wrong. You don't want to be holding all the way down here and lose half your money. Set realistic stop losses and it'll save you from blowing up your account. Just remember, the tighter the stop loss, the lower the risk. Make sure the next time you place a stop loss, you keep these things in mind. If this video was helpful, please like and subscribe for future videos. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I wish you guys good luck in trading, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, traders.